Hey folks, welcome to my Gencon 2019 coverage. So my video is going to be a little different than everybody else's. I am strictly looking at prototypes and things of that nature. However, there might be a couple surprises in here. So let's get to it.
Don't listen to him.
I know.
He fills your mind with bad ideas. Board game ideas.
All right, I'm here with Hayden. Tell me about your game.
All right, so this is Windward. It's been, a couple years in the making, and it's strategic movement and fighting players and critters.
The premise here is you got floating airships?
It's taking a bunch of historical stuff and dropping it in some kind of weird sci-fi gas planet.
That's awesome.
Flying around, seeing what happens.
Cool. And what are you most excited about? What about this design excites you the most?
Okay, so the wind changes every turn, and it changes the way players are allowed to move.
Ooh.
And that's a big aspect of how the whole strategy of movement and what you're able to do. So the last game we had came right down to the wind. It was one person would have won or lost depending on what that was.
That's awesome. And how long are games?
So depending on how many people are playing, it's normally 45 minutes to a little over an hour.
Great.
But it can go into crazy overtime, like I said. We've had a lot of close games.
That's awesome. How about, is it coming to Kickstarter?
It is coming to Kickstarter on August 27th.
All right.
And it'll be we're working with Eldorado Games. They made the island of Eldorado, so we'll be going through them.
All right, well thanks for your time.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Hey folks, I'm here with Eric Lang. How's it going, my friend?
Good, Mark, how are you?
You. So, my video is all about prototypes and new and upcoming designers. What is your best piece of advice for new designers, one, and for just creating prototypes? What do you got for folks on that?
Creating prototypes.
Yes.
So I'm going to give you two competing pieces of advice because they're actually they're going to sound like they are mutually exclusive, right?
Okay.
So the first one is, of course, prototype quickly, right? And it's an obvious one, but it's really easy to sit around with a perfect idea in your head. All games are perfect in your head, right? Until they're exposed. So don't spend too much time fussing around with your idea and trying to get it perfect in your head. Get something to the table, even if you play it with yourself, right?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with playing it with yourself, and by the physical act of building that prototype, you don't have to be super pretty. You don't have to do it on InDesign, which I do, but I don't advise that.
Right.
You just write it up, put it on the table, play it, ideally by yourself. Now, the second competing piece of advice is UX, user experience, and user interface does matter. So, when you are playing a game, when you're playtesting your prototype, this thing that you've built. It's really easy. The biggest traps you can fall for are misdiagnosing the problems and misevaluating the solutions, right? Because that's part of playtesting. Misdiagnosing the problems can almost always comes from, not always, but very often comes from UX. A lot of people don't think about I'm going to make a deck of cards that I'm going to make a sort of a training card game, collectible card game with a bunch of abilities, and I'm going to put all my information all over the cards. I'm going to play the game, and they're going to go and the game could be simple, it could be streamlined, it could be pretty smooth. But people are having a hard time playing it. Yeah. Right, and very often that's just because of how they lay out the cards. Study if you're making a game that is in a well-established genre, right? I'm going to make a worker placement game, right? Study other games, not just the gameplay, the product. Look at the game. Look how they laid it out, right? Yeah. And then and when you're playing other games, think about trivial things like, I had to reach all the way over across the board for this.
It is all about that usability, right?
Exactly right. It's the good games that you play, you don't think about that, right? Because that's all invisible.
Because it just works.
Right. Yeah. So those are just two things that you really have to think about. They sound put a lot of effort into the UX of your game, but don't put so much effort into making it too pretty. Gotcha. Right? Just make sure that you get played, because the more effort you put into it, the more you're going to get attached to it, and the more you're going to feel I already
built that.
The sunk cost fallacy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hey folks, we're taking a look at Rakers. This is a new deck builder, and this is going to be a Dice Tower preview, and I'm here with...
I'm Austin Harrison. I am one of the lead developers on this, and I'm from Ivy Studio in Nashville, Tennessee.
Nice. So give us a quick overview of this game.
Yeah, so Rakers is a deck building game, but we hope it's got a few things that are a lot different than other deck builders that you've played. One of the main things is that a lot of the game relies on short-term alliances. The game is designed to be too hard at first. The Rakers, which are the players playing the game, are competing to become the new leader of the Rakers.
Nice.
So they're kind of friendly, but also a little bit, trying to get ahead of everyone else so they can become the king or whatever.
Indeed.
So
that's super cool.
Yeah.
What is the thing that makes you most excited about this game? What is it?
I think I have two answers. The first one is we have metal coins, and I'm obsessed with metal coins.
I am too. I
but
love
that's
bits,
just
right?
that's just like a component that I'm excited about. I think the thing I'm most excited about is when two people go on a contract together, and they're not sure they're going to make it, and it's like I have to draw the right cards, I have to get the right crew card that I can play just perfectly, and they just barely complete a contract. And it ends up putting them both ahead in the game above everyone else. I think that's my favorite moment.
So the thing about this game is that we're doing a special thing with this game,
Yeah,
aren't
it's a
we?
little special.
So this is really cool, folks. You gotta stay tuned because we are gonna be doing a crossover. We're gonna be on Game the Game with Becca Scott
Becca.
on Geek and Sundry. I'm gonna be playing with her in studio. We're gonna be playing Rakers, and you'll wanna keep an eye out for that. I'm super excited. This is gonna be fantastic. I can't wait.
Hi, my name is Sterling Hirsch, and the name of this game is Zeit. In Zeit, you play as the manager of a robot factory, and you use these sand timers to generate your robots. It's looking for a publisher right now, so keep an eye out.
All right, folks, we're here at AEG. We're checking out some new prototype stuff coming to Kickstarter this year and next. Tell us what you got. I think this one is the one I'm most excited about.
Okay.
So tell us more about this.
Sure. This is Dead Reckoning. Dead Reckoning is the next big game from John DeClaire. Dead Reckoning is a game about being a pirate or dealing with the fact that your friends have decided to be pirates. It's a game about exploration.
Right.
The characters are going to leave their home port. They're going to sail off into the mysterious ocean. And as they sail, they're going to uncover these interesting islands. The islands have resources on them. They provide some benefits. You can build structures on them to kind of increase your power in the area. You can also upgrade your ship. Your ship can become more powerful.
Right.
You can prepare yourself to either be a pirate or to avoid being pirated.
Indeed.
And we've got this really clever mechanic where
this is awesome.
You're going to
talk about this.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh.
John Clare loves to drop cubes through structures.
It's awesome.
And in Dead Reckoning, you'll be dropping cubes through this clever
pirate ship.
The pirate ship, right? The number of cannons that are on your ship and the ships that you're attacking generate cubes. You drop the cubes into the ship on the back of the box. It falls into a little tray, and depending on where the cubes land up, it tells you what the resolution of the battle was.
That's amazing.
So it allows you to have
things that can happen in the battle.
Right. Yeah. You can find flotsam and jetsam in the water. You can find some treasure. Nice. You can do damage to their ship, or you can actually win the battle and achieve victory.
Destroy them.
Right. It's possible to sink your opponent. Yep. Exactly.
Love it. And then you have another game.
Yes.
Another water related.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
Lost Atlantis.
That's right. So a game that we're bringing to Kickstarter before we bring Dead Reckoning is a game called Lost Atlantis. It's designed by the Moelis brothers. In Lost Atlantis, you are the captain of a Jules Verne-esque submarine.
Oh, I love this idea.
You're sailing around under the water, trying to find clues to the mysteries of Lost Atlantis.
That's cool.
And it's a game that's all about exploration. As you explore, you're discovering these tiles, and the tiles will give you some Atlantean artifacts to make your submarine better. They also allow you to claim areas of the seafloor, which has a victory point value. And they also unlock this really clever puzzle. Okay. And each time you find a tile that gives you clues to where the pyramids of Lost Atlantis are, you are creating the opportunity to see a pyramid in the distance. And the pyramids are these cool plastic little pyramids.
Yeah.
And when you find one, the player gets to put them on the board.
Okay.
So the pyramids on the board and the locations that you explore are all generated by where your submarine can sail using these little
That was
sticks.
really cool, right? So you don't have a grid system on the board. It's just wherever you go. So you get that kind of flow of the water.
That's right. Yeah.
It's really cool.
And every game is always different because you never have the same things in the same place. Right.
And then you have the expansion.
That's right.
Edge of Darkness.
That's right.
So let's hear about this.
Absolutely. Edge of Darkness is the most advanced game AEG has ever manufactured. We just delivered it to Kickstarter backers. The campaign ran last year. John DeClaire designed that game. That was the first game that AEG bought from John.
Okay.
And one of the mechanics in that game is card crafting. And AEG decided that before we released Edge of Darkness, we wanted to release another game that had the card crafting mechanic in it so people could learn how that worked. And that's where Mystic Vale came from. So Edge of Darkness is now delivering to Kickstarter backers, and we're getting ready to do the next expansion, which is called Cliffs of Cold Harbor. So the Cliffs of Cold Harbor expansion features locations which have more interesting things to do with the agents that you send to those locations than the base game does. So the base game has a basic worker placement mechanic. You send your agents out to locations, they do various things. In Cold Harbor, when you send agents to the location boards, often you have choices about what those agents will do while they're there. So some of them, for example, have 6 different things that an agent can do when you send an agent to that location.
What are some of the things you can do?
So like you can trigger an extra hunt against the threat. You can create a situation where your opponents will all lose points on the defense track.
That's awesome.
And if you've played Edge of Darkness, you'll know that means they're losing victory points.
Victory points,
yes, right.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of interaction. It's not exactly take that, but it is
a little bit.
It's a little take that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm here with Travis, and we're looking at Foreteller. What is this exactly?
So Foreteller is a story and narration application. We are partnering with Sky Kingdom Games, and they're releasing a Kickstarter in September. It's called the Isofarian Guard. Also, we are releasing a audio narration for Gloomhaven in November. That's when we launch. So we really are creating an immersive experience for gamers around high quality audio narration. Not only just kind of standard narration, but also voice acted by multiple voice actors. Right. So it's not just a standard audiobook. We're really bringing in high quality music and actors kind of interacting with one another.
Because I took I took a listen at a sample, and it really is engaging. I mean, you really did a good job here.
Thank you.
And we're definitely gonna give you guys a quick glimpse of this.
Glowing.
Captain?
Yana's quiet voice pulls you out of your thoughts. You look up to see she's staring at you. What? Your voice catches. You can't seem to remember how to speak.
Captain, it's okay. Everything will be okay.
She smiles and places a small stone in your hand. Time ceases to exist. You're surrounded by an immense presence that threatens to overwhelm.
Hi, my name is Chris Rollins. I am a game designer and producer at Funko Games, and I was the lead game designer on our game Funkoverse. It's a really exciting project for us. We've been working on it for a little over a year now, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, Chris, this is exciting. Tell me more about this game.
So Funkoverse is a strategic miniatures game. In it, you're going to be choosing a team of characters to go against your opponent across 4 different scenarios. So each scenario kind of changes the way that you're able to score points and kind of change the way that you want to build your team. So when you play, it's always a race to a certain amount of points. You can gain points by collecting point tokens that are put out on the board. You can also gain points by knocking other characters out. In Funkoverse, there's no hit points, so characters get knocked down, and then if they get hit again while they're knocked down, they get knocked out and put on what we're calling the cooldown track, which I'll explain in a second. But when you do knock an enemy character out, you're going to get 1 point for that. And that's true in all 4 scenarios. But each scenario also adds a little twist. For example, we're set up for a flags scenario. And think of flags as sort of like the second half of a capture the flag game, where if I get my character across the board to your starting area, and I'm adjacent to your flag marker, at the end of the round, I can teleport my character back to my starting area and score 2 points. So we kind of like to call it just dunking. I dunk the flag, and I come back and I score 2 points. So in flags, those are the 3 ways to score points. But there's other scenarios too. For example, we have a territory scenario, which is kind of like King of the Hill, where you're going to be trying to control one area of the board. This is really important because in our game, Funkoverse, we choose a scenario before we choose what characters we're going to play with. It's something kind of near and dear to our hearts, is the fact that you want to try different strategies. You want to use all the characters that are in your collection.
All right, so we just finished. Oh my gosh, we did so much fun, and I thought I had it, right?
Yeah,
you in the lead.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, but you pulled it out because you did a great job keeping Batman distracted, from getting either additional points or moving to the other side with the flag.
Yeah, and that's kind of like I was at first I was kind of pushing forward, and you kind of made me stay back because you came out and was right up in my grill.
Right.
But because my characters were so resilient, I got a lot of good rolls. You know, Batman wasn't able to ever like actually get into my base and score the flag. He eventually had to go back and help Batgirl, so you were kind of on your heels. And that gave me time to kind of go and get the point tokens. And the cool thing about Harley and Joker is that some of their abilities, like the mystery box, you get to move and place the mystery box. So it's a pretty mobile character.
The mystery box was brutal.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah. It's great. It's great on this. I mean, it's good in general, but on Gotham specifically, you have all these tight alleys, so it can really be good.
It can really be good. That was awesome. So, I think I did pretty good for a first game.
You
right?
did.
4 points.
Yeah.
I loved how the assist, how like the grappling and stuff works with Batman.
Yeah.
It's all super thematic, and how he has the ability to stand back up on his own, which it's Batman.
Yeah, he has that ability. The other ability that he has that didn't really, or actually did come into play, the Kid Crusader.
Kid Crusader.
So Batman's whole thing, as we know, is he just jumps into the thick of things, like throws all cautions to the wind, jumps in and starts punching people, and you did that. So
fun.
Worked out.
Great. Well, Chris, thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Appreciate it. It was so fun.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, folks, check this game out. It is a must-see.
Hi, I'm Caleb. This is Moonshine Empire, a game in which you distill and transport moonshine through a swamp. The story goes, an old man named Pappy has been providing moonshine to the people of the swamp for 40 years. He's ready to retire, so he's holding something of a competition to see who can take over his moonshine empire. So you'll have one night to make as much moonshine as you can, take it with your vehicles, and deliver it to the tavern in the center. There's thirsty customers there who are waiting, so you're going to be collecting all of that throughout. The part we're most excited about is the auction system, in which you take a certain amount of money, hold it in your hands, and then show it at the same time. Player with the highest amount of money is going to take the first card and then down from there. This feature has really made the game approachable to all different types of players. Look for the game later this year or early next year on Kickstarter.
All right, folks, we're here. Oathsworn, is that right?
Oathsworn.
I am super excited about this. This is about to be a Dice Tower preview as well.
Yeah.
So this game is beautiful. First, let's talk about the fact of how it's a choose your adventure in the beginning, right?
Yeah. Well, like so we really wanted to make this game focused and centered on story, and so we have a New York Times bestseller with a team of 6 writers making a 200,000 word. It's kind of like a choose your own adventure. We call this a Twisting Tales game. And what a Twisting Tales game is, a board gamer's version of that choose your own adventure thing. It's not just a book; it has maps.
Maps, right? You have multiple maps.
That's right, multiple maps. Yeah. So it's kind of like a legacy game,
right?
Where you have you're unlocking envelopes and unlocking boxes with new things as you're traveling between the cities.
That's amazing.
And the just give you a little quick idea.
Look at this artwork, right? I mean, this is beautiful. This map is amazing.
So this is a map made by Francesca Berold, just an absolutely incredible artist. She hand draws these maps. It takes her about a month to draw each one.
Wow.
I don't have the guts that she has to take something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, but the branching story, right, has some real dilemma choices that you have to make. And really the bulk of the game up front is all about making those choices, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to move to like the boss battle.
Yeah, so this kind of, you go through this story. It takes about half an hour, 45 minutes to go through the story, and you basically are the free company. You're the kind of best fighters that mankind's got, but you're fighting monsters, and so your survival rate is not very good. Colloquially, they're called the 60-seconders because that's how long
you survive.
That's right.
Well, I know we just played a round of battle, and it's rough. Now, one of the neat things about battle, though, in this game is the fact that you have this huge push your luck mechanic.
Yes, yeah.
The dice, you can roll as many dice as you want to, or you can draw cards, or even do a combination of using cards and dice.
Yeah, you a dice man or a card man?
I'm a dice man.
A dice man, all right. So you pick your big hand of cards, and you get to choose how many dice you want to roll, but if you roll 2 misses, the whole thing whiffs, right? So you're coming in, you're choosing how hard you want to whack that rat.
Yeah.
Whack a rat, but if you roll those 2 misses, the whole thing goes. And then
and you have some like upgrade dice or power dice.
Yeah, so you get weapons, you get might, empowerment dice, all kinds of different ways of manipulating those things, and cooldown mechanisms. There's all kinds of like beefy Euro mechanics to kind of wrap around this kind of exploding dice system. And then of course
these amazing, ginormous, oh my gosh, this is huge. The environment that you've provided here and the creatures, look at this thing. This is amazing.
It's as big as a real rat.
Yeah, right? Holy cow. So talk about the choice about making these giant miniatures.
So this is a heroic scale.
Yeah.
And so we want to kind of take that back. A lot of the time the miniatures are in 32 mil, but
right.
we wanted to go to this higher because we get a bunch more detail, a bunch more dynamic kind of stuff that we can do with that. And really, because the battles are quite close and intense, you can have this big old monster you're fighting and all its minions, and then like your team of 4 hardcore heroes trying to come in and end them. And so we get some nice chunky miniatures with that type of game.
That is awesome. Now, one of the big things I'm asking all the folks that I'm showing prototypes for, what is your favorite thing about this game?
Oh,
what draws you in the most?
Personally, I really like the battle flow stuff. I like this idea that we got this mechanic that manages that is representing breathing through combat, keep moving, keep fighting, keep going, and so you've got this cooldown manipulation where you put a card down on your board, and then that moves other cards round, and you're just trying to force them back into your hand, so you've got them ready, and you've got all these tough choices. Do you use a card for defense or do you use it for attack? You're always making these tough choices in what you're doing in the fight.
That's amazing. Okay, so you're going to Kickstarter, right? And when is that going to be?
So we're dated for October the 8th. So a couple of months. We're kind of rallying the troops and getting ready for this thing.
How many different creature possibilities of these giant miniatures are you going to have?
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot. Over I can say for certain over 10. We've got some stretch goals and things like that we're hoping to get out. But yeah, we've got a lot of big juicy monsters, and each one's different. We've got like tribes of things and like packs and like giant single monsters and all kinds of weird mind-bending stuff. It's going to be interesting.
That's going to be phenomenal.
Hey guys, we're here at Gencon. I'm Rick from CGS, and I'm here to present to you Chronicles of Drunagor, our new baby. This is a dungeon crawler, 1 to 5 players, that has many different interactions and mechanics that will show you what is the difference between us and the other guys. First thing that I'm so excited about it is the interactions of our dungeons and maps. We have a 3D set with maps that represent the doors for the new dungeon. We have 3 different modes. We have the adventures and the campaigns. We have PvP, and we have the shot adventure. That will also increase hours that you can play. We have over 50 hours of fun right here.
All right, folks, so we're taking a look at Hellenica. I'm here with Scott, the designer from Mr. B Games, and what's awesome, this was a Dice Tower preview, but this is the first hot off the press version. Okay, Scott, so tell us, what was your first impressions opening this box?
Honestly, I almost passed out. It was like everything I dreamed of and envisioned in my head for 3 years came out in the sculpts, the layout, the cards. I couldn't be happier. I think our backers are gonna be thrilled.
It's impressive.
Yeah,
it looks. I mean, I had prototype. They were 3D printed right for the video, and it was those are nice, but this is leaps and bounds. So much nicer.
Yeah, thank you. I'm thrilled.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. So you've also done a few play tests here. How did that go?
Play tests went amazing. We've done 2.
Okay.
And I think it's pretty telling that of the 4 people who played in the first night's play test, 3 of them came back the next day to play again, including a dude scalped another ticket just to get in so he could play a second game.
I love that. Well, it's not rare that I get to see hot off the press from a preview we did. But folks, if you want more information about Hellenica, please go watch my full preview.
Hi, I'm Eric with Sky Kingdom Games, and we are going to be releasing the Isofarian Guard coming up on Kickstarter. It's a 1 to 2 player narrative-based adventure with bag building, and it comes with a special application that has full voice acting and musical narration. You can find us on Kickstarter on September 10th.
I'm Jason Brooks with Brooks Fun Games, and this is Legacies, coming to Kickstarter this fall. In Legacies, you are famous in the early 19th century, and you're working to build a name that lasts for yourself over the course of 300 years. The most exciting part about this game for me is the variable gameplay and how the game rounds end is controlled by the players, as well as the fact that it's thematic. It's a thematic mid to heavyweight Euro that makes you feel like you truly are building out a legacy as you find successors, as inflation hits and costs rise and benefits rise all throughout the game, leaving you with a legacy that truly feels as if your character has built something that lasts 300 years. Coming to Kickstarter this fall.
All right, folks. So, we're looking at a lot of prototypes, and we're talking Kickstarter, and we got to talk about Foundations of Rome with Emerson. So, dude, this game looks amazing, and this is prototype. So give us the overview here.
So sure. Okay, so each one of us we're working to build the grand city of Rome.
Oh, nice.
So each player is going to be trying to buy lots and place their buildings out onto the boards. And yeah, look at these
buildings are
look at these amazing
phenomenal.
buildings here, right?
Yeah.
So there's a central board where everyone's going to be placing their pieces. Some of them will get population. Some of them are markets where you can get more income. And then some of them, and these are the most interesting ones, is that you can place buildings to actually take advantage of the buildings adjacent to them, and it doesn't have to be your building.
Doesn't have your building. Yes. Nice. Yeah. Okay, so, dude, what makes you most excited about this design? The giant box? Oh my gosh, look at this thing. It is huge. It's a cube.
It's a cube.
Oh my gosh. Dude, how many different buildings?
Okay, so 4 players, there should be about 100 pieces.
Wow. 100 different, oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That is,
and
it's
it's almost like everybody has their own tableau of buildings, right?
Exactly.
It's a tableau of buildings.
Exactly,
It's kind of epic, right?
Yes.
And again, this is going to Kickstarter, right?
It's going to be going to Kickstarter on November 11th.
November 11th. And definitely look for a Dice Tower preview for this one.
That's right.
Emerson, thanks so much for being here, my friend. All right, so we're looking at Change Up next.
So Change Up is a quick, fast-paced game where if you've heard of the game 3-Card Monte, or you might know it better as the game in the streets in New York where they're trying to hide the ace, that's what you're doing with these 5 cards. So you'll have cards labeled from 0 to 4, and you'll be mixing those around with these different blue cards that you have here. There's different things you'll do, like pass this you pick token around, which will determine who gets to pick first. You'll be trading hands and doing other things that'll distract you from where the cards are as you play.
Cool. Well, tell me what about this game makes you most excited?
I think I'm really excited about how fast-paced, fun, and easy to learn it is.
That's awesome. And you're going to Kickstarter, right?
Yep. October 8th is my plan right now. Should be about $9.
Hey folks, I'm here with Shell. We're talking about the last game board, some new technology in board gaming. Tell us more about it.
So the last game board is the next evolution of gaming. We are going to solve all the pain points in board games: storage, losing those little fiddly pieces, having the ability to play wherever, whenever, whatever you want, being able to test a game before you actually buy it, all those things. And we're so excited to bring forth the world's first board game console.
That's awesome. And it's going to have a subscription service.
Yeah, subscription. You can buy them flat out if you want, but it'll have a subscription service. We're working with some of the biggest game developers.
That's awesome.
With incredible content to bring this entire platform to you next year.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a Dice Tower preview.
It is. We're really excited. So we're going to do a whole Dice Tower unveiling about what the board looks like, what the tech looks like, and we're going to bring it exclusivity to you guys.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that one.
Yay!
So that's our tour through Gencon. However, we're going to end this off with Shannon from
Panda Games Manufacturing.
And we thought this would be a prime opportunity as we end this video to talk about some tips and tricks for folks looking to manufacture their games.
Well, it's funny you ask because Panda Games just released an awesome Kickstarter guidebook, which you can get on our website, and it compiles all the years of information that we've gathered from our clients who've been running tons of successful Kickstarters.
And there was one we were talking about that is a prime one that you always call out, right? About the print files or whatever.
Yeah. So one of the things that we can offer or suggest to designers is get those print files in shape early on. It'll save you a big headache and it'll speed up the process when you actually start the manufacturing process.
That's amazing. Any other tips for folks?
Yeah, just engage your community, start that early, set up a website, social media, get people excited for the Kickstarter so once it launches, you'll be easier to reach that audience and spread that word.
Fantastic. Well, that's Gencon. That's a wrap, folks. Thanks for being here, Shannon. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.